Breaking news, courtroom chaos erupts as Monique Samuels drops a shocking confession that destroys Wendy Osefo's world. No one saw this coming. What started as a routine defamation hearing just turned into the biggest scandal reality TV has ever seen. Cameras were rolling when Monique Samuels stood up, trembling, and uttered the words that froze every heartbeat in the room. "Yes, I was in a relationship with Edward Osefo." Gasps filled the courtroom. Reporters dropped their pens. Wendy's face went pale as the woman she once called a friend revealed the betrayal that shattered everything. Within seconds, the footage exploded online. Hashtags lit up like wildfire. Monique confession, Edward exposed, Wendy destroyed. But this wasn't just an affair, it was a plan. Monique claimed Edward promised her everything once Wendy was out of the picture. He allegedly plotted to seize her empire, her fame, her brand, and her heart. Then came the audio, Edward's own voice echoing through the courtroom speakers. "Once Wendy's gone, we'll build our own empire. She'll never see it coming." The room went dead silent. Even the judge couldn't speak. Wendy's tears hit the floor as she screamed, "You both ruined me!" Monique sobbed, whispering, "He made me believe it was love." In that single moment, careers crumbled, reputations burned, and the truth sliced through the lies like glass. This wasn't just drama, it was destruction caught on camera. And as the clip hit the internet, one question echoed louder than the chaos itself. Was this ever about love? Or was Wendy just the target of a master plan? The courtroom was packed, every seat taken, every breath held. The air felt heavier than steel, and even the ceiling lights flickered, as if they too could feel the tension. Cameras from every major network were aimed straight at the witness stand, where Monique Samuels sat, hands trembling, lips pressed together, eyes glistening with guilt. When the judge's gavel struck, the silence broke like glass. "Miss Samuels," he said coldly, "you may proceed with your statement." Monique took a deep breath. For a second, it looked like she might faint. Then, in a voice that barely held together, she spoke. "I can't live with the lies anymore. Edward Osefo and I, we've been involved for years." The courtroom erupted. Gasps, screams, flashes from every corner. Wendy Osefo's head jerked up, eyes wide, face drained of color. Her hands gripped the table so tight, her knuckles turned white. The woman who built an empire of poise, intelligence, and elegance now looked like her whole world was collapsing in slow motion. Reporters scrambled for their phones. Headlines were already being drafted before Monique finished her next line. It wasn't just an affair, it was a plan. Those words changed everything. The cameras zoomed in closer. Monique pulled a folder from her bag and placed it on the table with a thud. Inside, screenshots, receipts, and signed documents. "Edward promised me everything," she said, tears sliding down her cheeks. "He said once Wendy was out of the way, we'd take over her companies, her sponsorships, everything she ever worked for." Wendy stood up, shaking, her voice breaking. "You're lying. You both used me, destroyed me." The judge tried to restore order, but it was too late. The chaos had begun. Monique reached for her phone, pressed play, and the entire courtroom froze. From the tiny speaker came Edward Osefo's unmistakable voice. "Once Wendy's gone, we'll build our own empire. She'll never see it coming." The sound echoed like thunder. Reporters covered their mouths in disbelief. One juror began to cry. Wendy stumbled backward, whispering, "No, no, this can't be real." Monique collapsed into tears. "I thought he loved me. I thought we were in this together. But he was using me too." Cameras captured every tear, every gasp, every shattered look between the three of them. The footage would soon go viral. Within minutes, the world would see a woman confess her sins, a wife lose her dignity, and a husband's empire burn to ashes. This wasn't just a trial anymore. It was the fall of a dynasty, live on camera. And as Edward sat there in silence, his eyes cold and unblinking, one thing became painfully clear. This was never about love. It was about power. And tonight, that power just turned to dust. The next morning, every news channel in America had only one headline: Wendy Osefo betrayed. Monique's court confession rocks reality TV. The footage of Monique's trembling voice and Wendy's collapse was replayed in slow motion, over and over again. The internet had turned into a battlefield. Hashtags like Edward exposed, Monique confession, and Wendy destroyed were burning through every platform. Inside the courthouse, chaos hadn't settled. Cameras followed every move. Wendy walked in wearing black. No makeup, no smile, just silent rage. She didn't look like a professor or a TV personality anymore. She looked like a woman who had nothing left to lose. Edward sat across from her, jaw clenched, refusing to meet her eyes. The man who once preached loyalty and family values now looked like the villain in his own story. The crowd whispered as he entered, some booing, others filming, every phone light like a tiny torch ready to set his image ablaze. Monique was escorted back to the stand, eyes swollen from crying, but this time her tone had changed. She wasn't just confessing, she was exposing. Edward didn't just cheat, she said coldly. He calculated. He made me believe Wendy was the enemy. He said she didn't deserve her fame, that she used him. He wanted revenge. Gasps echoed again. The judge leaned forward, expression grim. Monique pulled out another piece of evidence. A hidden voice memo. She pressed play. Edward's voice. Once the press turns against her, she'll have nowhere to go. The public loves a scandal. We'll make her the villain. Wendy broke down. Her sobs filled the courtroom. Her voice cracked as she whispered, "I built everything from nothing, and you turned it into ashes." Edward slammed the table. "Don't act innocent, Wendy. You made this marriage a show." His voice boomed through the room, and for a second, everyone could see the rage he had tried to hide for years. But this outburst only sealed his fate. Cameras zoomed in on his face, the arrogance, the guilt, the downfall. Reporters outside were already framing the story. Edward Osefo, the man who destroyed his own legacy. Wendy stood, tears streaming, but her voice steady. "You wanted my empire, Edward? Now watch it burn, with your name on it." The silence that followed was suffocating. Even Monique couldn't look up. The judge ordered a recess, but the damage was done. Outside, the media frenzy exploded. News vans surrounded the courthouse. Talk shows were already calling it the betrayal of the decade. Fans flooded Wendy's old brand pages, demanding justice. And as the cameras followed, Wendy walking down those courthouse steps, her hair blowing in the cold wind, the world realized this wasn't a reality show anymore. This was heartbreak turned into a headline, love turned into warfare, and the Osefo name, once golden, now forever stained with betrayal, greed, and destruction. The days after the courtroom explosion felt like the end of an era. Wendy Osefo disappeared from public view. No interviews, no statements, just silence. But silence, in the age of the internet, speaks louder than words. Her mansion lights stayed off. Paparazzi swarmed outside, catching only shadows moving behind drawn curtains. The once celebrated professor, reality star, and entrepreneur was now a ghost in her own story. Meanwhile, Monique Samuels became the face of regret. She sat down for an exclusive TV interview, face pale, eyes heavy with guilt. The host leaned in. "Monique, why confess now?" She hesitated before answering, voice trembling. "Because I couldn't live another day knowing I destroyed a woman's life for a man who never truly loved either of us." The clip went viral instantly. Millions watched as Monique broke down on live TV, clutching tissues and whispering, "I thought I was winning, but I was being used too." Edward, however, wasn't done. In a desperate move to salvage his image, he released a public statement claiming Monique had blackmailed him, that she was obsessed, that the audio was doctored. But his plan backfired. Within hours, leaked emails surfaced, messages showing Edward threatening Monique to stay quiet. Screenshots flooded Twitter. Every word was a dagger. "You talk, we both go down," one message read. The internet exploded. Edward's credibility disintegrated. His sponsors pulled out. His TV deals vanished overnight. By the weekend, Edward Osefo was trending for all the wrong reasons. Edward ruined his life. Monique exposed everything. Justice for Wendy. But the most heartbreaking moment came when Wendy finally broke her silence. She posted a single video. No makeup, no background music, just raw truth. Her eyes were swollen, her voice cracked, but her words pierced through every screen. I lost my husband, my friend, my peace, but I haven't lost myself. I will rise again, not as a victim, but as a survivor. The video hit 20 million views in one night. Fans flooded her page with support. Celebrities reposted it. What began as humiliation turned into a worldwide movement, a reminder that even betrayal can't bury truth. Outside the courthouse weeks later, Edward was escorted in handcuffs. Financial fraud charges, bribery, and evidence tampering. Everything came crashing down. Cameras flashed as Monique turned away, crying quietly while Wendy watched from a distance. No anger, no tears, just closure. As Edward was led away, Wendy whispered to herself, "This is not revenge, this is justice." The crowd erupted into chants, "Wendy strong! Wendy strong!" echoing across the courthouse steps. And just like that, the Osefo saga ended, not with applause, but with a broken empire, shattered pride, and a woman who turned her pain into power. The final headline read, "From Love to Lies, the scandal that ended the Osefo dynasty." And now, the world can't stop talking. The Osefo empire didn't just collapse, it detonated. Millions have seen the footage. Millions more are asking the same question. Was any of it ever real? Wendy's tears, Monique's guilt, Edward's arrogance. Every frame has become a symbol of betrayal, played out in front of the entire world. This wasn't just a scandal, it was a tragedy written in real time, a woman's trust traded for fame, a friend's loyalty sold for power, a marriage buried under greed. And when the truth finally surfaced, it didn't just destroy reputations, it shattered hearts. Now fans are demanding justice. Blogs are dissecting every second, body language experts breaking down each tear, and the internet is calling it the biggest betrayal in reality TV history. But one thing remains crystal clear. Wendy Osefo lost everything, except her strength. If you've ever trusted the wrong person, if you've ever given your heart to someone who only wanted your crown, this story is your warning. Because in the end, love didn't win. Power did, and the price was everything.